My name is Cheri, and you are in my studio. And it's a good thing you can just see this much of it because it's kind of dirty. I've been so busy. And we just got the holiday catalog stuff in. Oh, it's been a little more than a week now. And all I want to do is stamp and, real life steps in the way and all of the other things. So I haven't had as much time to stamp as I'd like to, but this is the holiday catalog. If you don't have one yet and you're in the United States, just depending on what medium you're watching me on, if you're on YouTube, you can comment down below and I will send you my email address. If you're on Facebook, you can message me. If you're on my website, then you can use the contact me down below this and I will send you one because it's fabulous and you're going to want it. You can't order out of it until September 4th, so you're good. Unless you want to sign up to be a demonstrator, then you can order out of it now. And Stampin' Up! Has a great sign-up special that's going on right now, so you can get stuff. If you don't have everything you want out of the annual catalog, then I'll send you one of these. You can sign up and get a ton of that, and then they're giving you a little bit more as well in September. And all of that is on my website, so no matter where you're watching this, you can click on that. But the card I have to show you today isn't really what I was going to do. And I've had a little bit of thought process change because my online class for September, I was originally going to do the Come Together, which you haven't seen if you've not seen the catalog, but that was going to be my bundle that I was going to do. But I did a pumpkin card, and the response to it has been huge on Facebook and on Pinterest, so I'm going to switch it because, I can. It's my business and I can do what I want. I may end up halfway through September or 3/4 of the way adding the Come Together, but I did want to tell you that the Harvest Hellos, it's kind of hard with the lights. I have the lights ready to go for when I stamp in a second. So it's the Harvest Hellos and the Apple Punch. So it does pumpkin, apples, watermelons. It will do a bunch of cards. I have 3 samples up already. They won't be part of the free online class. But to do my online classes, all you have to do is buy this. So you don't need any kind of die cutting machine for this class. It'll be an easy class. But you buy this, and you'll buy it in September. You'll use the hostess code that will go up on September 4th on my website, and all of that information will be up. So all you do is buy this, and then I will have the basic supplies that you will kind of need to follow along. And I send you all of the cardstock and the ribbons and the papers to make 3 projects, and you'll get the link to some private videos that are just like these that you watch on my YouTube station all the time, but you'll have the actual paper so you can follow along, and then I'm there to help you with questions if you have any help as you're making the projects. So what we're going to do, let me show you the cards first. This is the first one that I did when I did the pumpkins, so it's super cute. You wouldn't have to put all 3. That video's up if you want to watch it. So you could make 3 cards and not put all of them on. Then I had one spare little pumpkin, so I did this one. And then I wanted to do something that was completely different. So I did this. There you go. And I used the new Mercury paper. It's kind of hard to see because, like I said, set up for for down on the desk, the lights. And I had also been doing a series, which you may have seen, it's been maybe 3 weeks ago, on copying. When you copy somebody else's cards, and I was copying my own. So that's what I'm going to do for this. So I'm going to copy this card. So say you saw this card and you don't have the pumpkin stuff, or you just like the layout of the card, you really like that Mercury paper, because I think everybody's going to need the Mercury glass paper. It's in the holiday catalog. You're going to need it. It's fabulous. It's different than anything we've had. But I'm going to make a little Christmas card out of Perfectly Plaid. And I'm working with this because we're doing a demonstrator day coming up. And that's the stamp set that everybody gets when they come to our event. It's included in their packet. So we're getting going on samples. And after I did the pumpkin card, I thought, oh, this would make a fabulous card with this. So it's called Perfectly Plaid. It too is a similar setup as the pumpkin, because you get the stamp set and the punch. So what I did, so if you're going to copy a card, so I'm going to kind of lay this card here. So this is the card. So you have this card. And I thought about making it pink because I love pink Christmas. It's 50s Christmas. I have a lot of pink vintage Christmas trees. So I almost thought about just kind of doing the exact same card, but then I wanted to show you how to kind of switch it up a little bit more. Oh, my lights don't look great. That's what I get for aiming my lights down without my camera. Let me see if I can fix this just a tad. That's a little better. Let me tap that. So what we're gonna do, again, I'm just gonna go same basic. So we're gonna have white and white. I'm gonna use the Mercury glass paper, which you can see. If you watch the pumpkin video, don't cut this out. It's easier to punch from a whole sheet, otherwise it collapses in on itself. There is a right side and a wrong side. The back side, you may want to use it on some occasion, but you can feel it doesn't have the print on it. We want this side that has the print because it shows through the red paper a little bit better. So just take your stamp. I did get a clean Versamark if you watched my pumpkin video. I used a really old dirty one because it was on my desk. This is a new nice clean one. So you're just going to ink it with a Versamark or some kind of embossing pad, but the Versamark is the one that Stampin' Up! Has. And you can buy all of these supplies starting September 4th. Some of them you can get now on my website. So just stamp. It's slippery, so just go down and up. Nothing needs to absorb. And in fact, you could, if you were making your Christmas cards, you could stamp a whole bunch of these. It's kind of hard to see where they are, but it's not going to dry. And then my original card, which you'll see in a minute, I do this a lot on my videos. I switch something up a little bit. My original card, I used the silver embossing powder because that's what I used on here and that's what was on my table. But then we have this new shimmer white embossing powder that's in the annual catalog. It was new this year in June. So I'm going to stamp that, emboss that. Here comes my husband. So even though he thinks he's quiet, he makes a lot of noise. So you may hear him. So just flick that off. If you have a little bit of spare, it doesn't matter because this paper's busy. So if you see a little bit of dust, it's not going to matter. It's not like when you're doing it on a piece of red cardstock and you have a piece of embossing dust. Get the scrap in here. And this was a full one, and I will tell you they last for years unless you spill them, and this was brand new and I knocked it off my table. So there you go. Mine's already looks like it's been used because I did knock it off my table when it was brand spanking new. Now when you heat this, it's better if you let your gun get hot a second. So let your heat tool get hot, then it won't melt the paper. And as soon as you see it turn, you see that? Just move it on. And I think the white, because the Christmas tree's kind of busy, I think it just shows up nicely. And as long as you don't hold the heat gun over it for too long, then it isn't going to melt your paper. It's nice and fine. So then I have some red cardstock. I just went more traditional colors. It's really candy cane kind of colors. Actually punched 3 of these out. I've already done 2 just to speed things up a little bit. So you'll need 3 of them. There's 1, and you actually need to stamp 3 of these, or you could do it just like this, but I decided to do it a little bit different. So pop this in here. And pop that out. That's all you need for that. And then you're going to take your tiny dimensionals and flip this over and just find a place on here where you kind of have like a large spot of Mercury glass, and you won't see it through on the other side, trust me. So pull that off. And then there's these trees go, there's a right way and a wrong way, which I thought, oh, my punch doesn't match my stamp, and then I flipped it over. So one way matches, one way does not. See, this doesn't match, so just flip it over, because these are not the same on both sides. Like, it's not symmetrical. Which is a fun tip to know before you think that something's wrong with either your punch or your stamp. So instead of a silver and pink pumpkin, you have a red and white Christmas tree. So we're going to take this, and then we have 2 ribbons. We have my favorite white polka dot tulle, and then this new ribbon is called, it's real red, obviously, and it's called Curly Ribbon. It's super soft, and it's in the holiday catalog. So you're going to take your white tulle, you get about that much, and then cut that. It may not be quite enough, but we'll make it work. And you're going to fold it in half, tie this here, and you're going to tie a bow in the middle. If this isn't long enough, I'll just do another one. Nope, I'm going to go longer. So do this much. I'd rather have too much than not enough. This is better. Okay. So do a ribbon there, a ribbon here. And then kind of hold it apart because the tool sticks to itself. So you have all 4 sections, and then once you get it like this, pull this part tight so your bow is held together, just like if you were tying your shoes. So see, now it's tight. And then if you want them a tad bit shorter, just pull the loops in and then pull it tight again. So there we go. You can see the bow. So you're going to take your paper, and this is the back side. So just add your snail here. Flip this around to the front. And then take the 2 tails and kind of separate them so you can get lots of the tulle, especially on this card because it kind of gives a snow effect. And this doesn't waste all of your ribbon. I'd rather have big fat bows on the front of my card than waste all of my ribbon being hidden behind the back. And then you're going to take the new ribbon. You don't need nearly as much of it, just a little snip. And put it around the middle and just tie another simple bow. This ribbon feels like if you did the yarn bows, if you are a child of the braid ears like I am, and you wore yarn bows in your hair, this kind of feels like those bows that we used to wear, wrapped around our ponytails. So just tie another little bow here. And you'll want to do the center on it again pretty tight because you don't want to knot, so just make sure when you pull this that that's nice and tight. And you can see it's got stitching around it that keeps it all nice and pretty. So it looks loopy, but on these right here, just pull that off. And then it really looks kind of like some braided ribbon bows. And this one, obviously longer than the other, so I've still got my scrap paper here. Just trim that off a little bit. Just like that. Okay. I'm going to set that aside with all of my little things. And I have a piece of the silver glimmer paper, and this is the new. It was new to the catalog last year, so it's been around about a year and a bit. It's much easier to run through a die cutting machine than the stuff we used to have because it doesn't have a backing on it. So I'm going to pop my die cut machine up here. And this is out of a set that's in the annual catalog. And all of the items that I'm using will be down below, either on YouTube or on my website, wherever you are. If you're on Facebook, you'll have to go to one of those 2 to see them. But both of these are in the annual catalog. So just put it through, and it just takes 1 pass. If you're using the new glimmer paper. If you have old glimmer paper or some glimmer paper from a different company, it might take a couple of passes. But this, see, it gets 1. And now all we pretty much have to do is put this thing together. So I have another piece of white. But you know, sometimes if you get to the end of making your Christmas cards and you didn't have quite enough, it's nice to have a white alternative. Because sometimes then it's just easy to make it work. And there's nothing more Christmassy than red and white. So this, where's my other card? This is exactly what I did on here. So you can see it's kind of still going for the same look, but I just took my scissors to the edge and just kind of scuff this up, and it gives it the illusion of, since it's white on white, it's going to kind of give it a popped up feel, even though it's not going to be popped up. So So just kind of pull it along the edge. Makes it kind of look like it's a little fabric-y. It's very early 2000s Stampin' Up. This is what we used to do back in the day before we had dies or a lot of fun stuff to use. We had to get creative and use your scissors. But it's a fun look, and we haven't done it a lot, and I feel like there's a lot of things in our catalog that are kind of circa 1999. Like the puffy paint and that gingerbread house. Some of the things just take you right back. Okay, then we have the stamp out of the stamp set. This one says Merry Christmas, but obviously we have the Christmas here, so all I need is the Merry. So I'm going to use my Stampin' Right marker and just ink the Merry. Now on this, you want to make sure that you don't get the eye, the dot of the eye, because it's kind of up in with the Merry. And it will puddle up a little bit because it's a Stampin' Right on photopolymer. But when you stamp, if you hold it down a second, it all like puddles back up on itself, so it'll be fine. So you may think it looks like it's not going to work, but it'll be okay. So I'm just going to put this here and see what I mean. It was like separated, but if you hold it there just a second, give it time to soak into the paper. There we go. So now we have Merry here. Let's add our trees, which these are going to look a little bit different than my original card because I've done them in white instead of silver, because the first one I did in silver to look like this. So start with your center one and then go out. And these just have the one dimensional, so they have a little bit of give, but if it's a little bit crooked, it doesn't matter because it kind of shows the red off a little bit more. The pumpkin I wanted dead on because it was really the color. This kind of has a snow effect, so it's fine. Kind of separate your bow out. I wanted a big bow so it kind of had snow, the snow dots. Take your Christmas. We'll go ahead and put it on our card because it's not going to be popped up or anything. You can see this pulls out really easily. Make sure all the middles, yep, they're all out. This almost ran out on my last taping, and I didn't get a replacement, and now I think it is gone. So let's go with something else. I have a few sitting here. And you don't need it on all the letters, just one for each tree. And the fuse isn't my preferred choice on this because it's so sticky. So get it so it goes across all three of your trees. Wouldn't happen that sticky if I had not run out of snail. There we go. So we have the Merry Christmas. And then on here I used sequins and pearls. So on this one, I don't want the sequins because they're not the right colors. So these are both in the annual catalog. These are my thank you gift. If you purchase anything on my website this month and you use the host code, you're going to get some basic pearls with your thank you card. And they're on both cards. But this, I'm going to use the red rhinestones, and these are in the annual catalog. And they all have adhesive backs. Oops, that's not on the top of that Christmas tree. There we go. So you can see I've copied the card, but it's not copied all the way. So that's what you can do if you feel like you can't come up with cards, because people ask me all the time how I come up with them, and I don't really know. Maybe it's too much caffeine, maybe it's not enough sleep, maybe it's just that I stamp a lot. I don't know how I came up with this. It was just there. And I was really pleased with it when I was done because I think it's pretty. But if you feel like you could never come up with something like this, well, you can take this, just pull it up on my website and copy it. Or you can come up with this and do something similar like this. And then I'm going to add the pearls. You can see here it was just kind of like a little highlight. On here I want it to look like snow. So I'm going to add a few more of them. And it kind of fills the white space. And there's 4 different sizes on here, I think. So I'm going to get a little bit of all of them. And just kind of put them on randomly. There you go. And here it is. This is, like I said, I did these in the white. This was done when I stamped them in silver. And then here's the pumpkin. So same card, pretty much same, just switched up colors, switched up stamps, switched words. But pretty much the same. You can also take these if you want and kind of place them with glue dots. But I'm not going to do that until I take pictures with them, because sometimes I need them to sit away from my pictures. And sometimes I just leave them because the tool you can kind of mess with. So there you go. Another way, you're going to need the Mercury paper, trust me, because this is such fun. And I know there's a lot of creative things you're going to be able to come up with it. If you are a demonstrator and you're part of our Creating and Sharing the Life You Love group, I think we're going to do a virtual swap coming up soon with the Mercury paper, so we can see all the ways that people can be creative with it. And remember, if you need one of these and you're in the US, just let me know. And if you want to do my free online class, then buy this from me in September. And all of that information is always in my emails. That's the best way to get it in a concise form. But you can also find it on Facebook spread out or on my website. So everybody have a great day. Bye.